Yes, hello today. Look, ever felt like you missed the good old days where you could just basically crap on anyone that you wanted to for the hell of it because you got lock-in? Well, today's the day we're going to be covering Old God Key. This is a clan-based team. This was a team that was used by a couple of clan people back in the day when this team was actually good. Now this team is horrible, and also the bench units that I've picked suck, but I really did it on purpose because I like to hurt myself. Let's cue the intro.
Welcome to my channel, where cringy intros are cringy.
Anyways, so here we are. As you can see, the first three units are the only ones I actually care about. Everyone else I don't give a shit about. So as a result, did I pick anything that was optimal? Absolutely not. I had no intention and I didn't care. Personally speaking, if I were to actually rearrange this in any shape, way, or form, I probably just would have completely dropped the blue unit and had replaced it with a health buffer, since I'm only using the first three and no one else ever. But I also figured that it's probably just best to keep them in there so that way on the PvP ladder rank, people will assume that I bring that in and they'll bring in a juicy green for me to kill. And fair to say, a lot of people actually took the bait and brought in their greens, which made my life so easy in regards, because Vegeta, he's got a lock-in, which he can activate twice, and it's for 5 timer counts each. So as a result, he really promotes the concept of no sidestep, no charge step, nothing, just go straight in for the kill. So he's really that finisher, that guy that comes out of nowhere and then just completely does a complete reversal. And you'll see that in the clips that I have ready for you guys today. We're going to be analyzing them together just to get an idea of what this team could do back in the day and see how much more devastating they could have been if, you know, any of these units get a zenkai. Another thing to note that I want to just preface right here, let's actually click on Beerus just for a second. So during the time of his of this showcase, I didn't fully soul boost this guy, and I completely forgot. So yes, he is only, well, he's missing a 100% extra bonus for his soul boosting. So yeah, there you go. Excuse me. That's a thing. But overall, I do enjoy this team. It's a lot of fun. I can definitely say that in terms of its ability to last in today's meta, it is not good at all. Like, it's solid when it works, but the problem is it has literally no defense except for Beerus, and Beerus isn't what I would say like a tank anymore. I would say he can take damage pretty well, but that's about it. Whereas the other two get caught, and if you can't switch into Beerus or you can't alternate between the two, you're most likely dead. Unfortunately. Another thing is they can get sniped very easily, and as you'll see in today's showcase, that you gotta play at least decently well and not fall for bait in order to get caught in a blue card that will just end up completely annihilating you. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go into the analysis, see what made this team so scary, what made it not so scary, and where to go from there. Anyways, I'll see you there, and let's begin. Alright, so before we begin the showcasing for these particular units, I just wanted to say why I did place them in specific positions. So one thing to note about Beerus is the reason why I place him usually first, or Rosé, and never the purple Vegeta, is because they enact a specific set of skills that allow for a pretty much a 50% attribute downgrade on the opponents for the damage they receive. So as a result, if you have Beerus come in first and then have him switch out, then in that case, you've basically applied a 50% damage increase to their entire team, which is really, really good, and it really helps overall in terms of how much damage they're taking, especially when Vegeta comes in, because Vegeta is one of those units that he's kind of a one-trick pony. He essentially is the guy that locks you in and kills your mother. That's pretty much what he does. That's his entire purpose. That's what he lives for. And then if, for whatever reason, your dad comes in with that endurance, if he has his main clicked on for the next 30 timer counts, he says nope and kills them anyways. So that's something to keep in mind when Vegeta comes onto the board. And then he's got a pretty good green card that allows him to soften, like, easily beat into the tissue of his opponents by just, like, constantly ramming them with his fists. Essentially, it just allows them to become more squishy. He can, by using his green card, he allows for impact damage to do more damage than normal, so that's also really nice. Another thing is Rose should be kept alive. If Rose dies for whatever reason, you lose basically 30% on that damage that they would receive, so it's very vital in this type of team that particularly Beerus and Rose survive first, and Vegeta is the first one that is supposed to die realistically. That's just how it is, and as a result, let's just get to the team, let's look at the fight, let's talk about the main key points, and see where it goes from there. It's also important to note that Beerus, on entrance, he locks a card, he locks the main ability, and when he switches out, he can further damage their card quality, so it's a lot of good things about Beerus and why he is where he is.
Challenging me, huh?
All right, so first mistake that I've noticed with my thing was that I sidestepped immediately. You should never do that. But generally speaking, so far as you guys can see, the damage is okay with the one blast that was done against Jiren with the green to green. It's not perfect, and if you're wondering why is it very glitchy, that's actually not the Wi-Fi or on either end, that's actually my phone. So if you're ever wondering what I play, how it looks like when I play, at least once you record, that's how it looks. It's even worse when you're actually playing on the phone itself. So now I just want to pause right here because I just switched in, which means that Vegeta specifically will just do a lot of impact, and on top of that, he's locked the opponent in for the next 5 timer counts, so they can't do anything. They can't do squat. Another thing is he draws in cards, and on top of all of that, you're just about to see, there's a reason why I'm not sidestepping. You want to increase the damage as much as possible, so just take a look real quick. And that's the end of Jiren. Yeah. And that's exactly why we call Vegeta the one-trick pony, because his entire job, realistically, is just to essentially finish off a unit once he enters the battlefield. That's really all he's there for. And I drop combo here, kind of by accident, actually. I don't actually try to drop combo, but I did, and that's going to be the end of Broly right here and there. Then, so there you go. That's 2. This is powerful opponent, by the way, for those of you that are wondering. And yeah, it's a pretty quick game. This is actually the longest part of the game. I'm not even kidding you. And I think part of it is because I'm trying to not mess up, but in the process of trying to not mess up, I end up messing up by clicking that blue card. Whatever. There's a lot of mistakes that could... Yeah, there we go. And as you can see, you're about to see that I will impact resistance down, so this is going to allow him to do more damage. So as you can see, he's doing actually decent for one strike. But I mess up here, and he's about to hit his ult on me, and whatever, it's fine. We're on Rose, and Rose's doesn't actually care at this point. It's not going to do enough to matter. And again, this isn't the Wi-Fi. This is actually just my screen from my phone, because it's burning up and actually burning my hands. Emily and I took pictures of what happens to my hands after I play on it, and it's healed up now, but at the time, it was still healing, and it was really bad. And Perfect Vanish to essentially a finished game. So this is literally what this team used to be able to do, but even better than what it's doing now. Back in the day when this team was really potent, this was around the time that it was... First Annie was over, second Annie hadn't begun just yet. This team was truly insane. Alright, so now we're on to game 2. And this team isn't particularly, what I would say, really good. It's solid for what it is, but as you can see, the Red Gogeta is only Zenkai 2, so it's not exactly what I would call impressive. But for what it is, it's fine. I actually picked this one out of a couple of other ones, even though there were some that were way better in terms of teams. But I like this one because it really showcases what happens when you can switch into this Vegeta. Essentially being able to really mess up their ability to do cover changes, to actually do anything of that nature. Alright, he's about to try. So, big important thing. Reason why I switched into Beerus here wasn't the fact that, you know, I didn't think Rose could take it. He could definitely take it. My issue with Rose taking that is in case of the feint. So Beerus has the ability to block feint at least twice, and that matters a lot. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you're feinted. So if at any point in time your opponent's trying to feint you, Beerus should be brought in to prevent that. So just key point. And my opponent just takes that, so I just accept it. Yeah, that's fine. And at this point, I switch in. Well, in the next one, you'll see. I switch in because I don't want that green Gogeta to show up. And this also allows me to grab my Rising, which means that I can just finish that thing off if he doesn't call me. And that just ends the entire Yellow Saga. So that means I don't have to worry about Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta doing anything to the team. So as you can see, this team doesn't do necessarily like insane damage, but what it does do is it controls the game a kind of little bit like regen in a sense. Not perfectly, and that's my mistake right there, which I'm going to suffer for it. Not much I can do about it. But as you can see, I'm letting Vegeta take a lot of damage until it gets to the point where I figure I don't need to lose anyone yet. So I just switch into Rose and, you know, call it that, because he can heal too, so it is nice that he can do that. This increases just his card quality by a lot, and I messed that up, but I somehow don't get punished, so that's okay. And then we're going to go into this because, yeah, I figured that was going to happen. That's exactly why. And that's a dead Gogeta right there. And as you can see, no dodge. I did try swiping, but again, my phone is literally heating up, burning up when this game was happening because of recording on top of that. So there's a lot of problems that was happening, and I once again messed that up, but we go in and we catch him. So yeah, but as you can see, I didn't do a side step because otherwise my phone would have dropped me. It's one of the prices I pay for having a phone that is very old at this point, at least in regards to how long I've had it and how much abuse it's been going under. But as you can see here, we got his ult in. It would have been better if he had this full hand, because in that case he would have killed here, but it's fine. It is what it is, and then we finished off with a tap, and that's the end of that fight. Alright, so moving on to the next one. Alright, so in this next one, we're playing against a Saiyan's team. It is, I would say it's kind of budget, as it doesn't run either the red Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, or alternatively, the Super Saiyan Gogeta. Alternatively, this person was just trying to run a completely synergetic team, in which case they picked this red Goku over everyone else. As you can see, I locked him in, so he can't actually do anything about it. He has to take it. I should have used the green card, but I think in the spur of the moment, I was charging for too long and didn't think I could activate it on time. And then I clicked the green card for no apparent reason, so that's unfortunate. And then he drops combos, so that just sucks. But luckily, he had nothing. He PVs on me, and it goes pretty south from here until I can manage to actually control the outcome. All right, so as you can see, they're not very tanky at all. Like, just even a little bit can really break them. As you can see, it didn't take much for Rose to almost basically die. Beerus is here literally just to tank the entire attack. But as you'll see right now, he does take a lot, and pretty much half of his health goes down. And at this point, we have him, because now he can't do anything about it. He's locked in, and it's over. This is it for that red Goku, and that's it. So now, yep, he is now going to get destroyed right here, because we have enough to finish him off, which means that all that's left is, well, honestly, the two more deadly units anyways. All right, so switching in, healing up, vanishing. Hopefully he's going to, yep, there we go. There's the sidestep, and we're going to go straight in. He's going to switch out, which is perfect for me because that just means that we can control this fight. We have now basically sealed him. We have PV'd on him, and it's over because he still needs about 10 timer counts, roughly, or more like now 7, before he can actually switch back into the Vegeta. So knowing that, I unload my entire hand and then go Rising, because at this point, we don't have the lock-in anymore. So we're really just relying on the switches, pick the green, and if he doesn't pick green, his basically best unit is wiped out without ever really being used, which is perfect, because that's what we really want when it comes to this type of fight, to actually get this easily and done. All right, so now moving on to his final unit. He essentially gets caught in a sidestep, and that's pretty much the game. Yeah, there's not much else to it. As you can see, Vegeta can't really tank if it's straight on, so there you go. Rose can do damage, but that's only because of the increased damage that the entire team gives. And for the final, this bonus round, I really wanted to show this one because I wanted to show you guys what happens when you play too patiently for a whale. So, yeah, alright, so at first, I'm trying to hit him, like, really hard, but that's not working, so I just, you know, I try to do my best, but realize very quickly that this person is kind of patient, so I decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to be patient myself. And I'm going to go straight in, right? And we're going to lock him in. The reason for the lock-in is just because I want to be able to control and see how much damage I can actually deal. So the fact that I was only able to deal like about 300,000 points of damage meant that, okay, this is not good at all. Now, luckily here, I know that he's got a blue card in hand. He's waiting for my blast, so I just don't give him the time of day. I just let him tap, and I do that switch. I vanish for a PV, and then go straight in. Then I switch into the Beerus for the green, and he just forfeits. Because at this point, he's just done with me. And there you go. That's his team, and then I screenshot it because I'm a troll. But basically, there you go. That is the entirety of the fight. That is essentially what this person was using. 14-star Vados, 13-star UI, 7-star yellow Evo Vegeta, and nothing. Keep in mind, though, that, you know, this is lower rank PvP. So as a result, not necessarily this person, this guy is actually pretty good, but some of the other fights that you saw, this is more of a just showcase of what this team can do, more so than like, can I beat the top players with this team? I don't really care to do that, nor do I want to put myself through that. I'm sure I could beat some people, for sure, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just not worth it. I don't want to go through the pain. I wanted to show you guys what made this team so scary back in the day. Can it compete in lower ranks, and could you potentially take this to battle rank 50? Absolutely. Could you take this team to top 10k? Most likely, actually. I definitely would say that it's definitely possible. Beerus really does help in regards to keeping the team collected and gives it survivability. One thing to note, however, is that although Vegeta looked great here, he's not perfect. And on top of that, I would definitely not suggest him in overall, like, playability. Like, really just don't play him. Just don't. Red Rose as well. Despite him being very synergetic with Beerus and being very synergetic with this purple Vegeta, they are old. They definitely need a Zenkai before you want to take them back. If these two get a Zenkai, I will pair them all together again, and I will do another showcase with them. All of them Zenkai'd, and I'll show you what looks like in a newer fashion, what it would be to play them at their best. Because honestly, if those two were to get a Zenkai, then that would pretty much be the team to run. It is just insanity what this team could do back in the day, and what it can still do kind of today. So what would I give this in terms of a rating? In regards to a PvP top tier team, I could only give this max a 3 out of 10. Back in the day, it would be a solid 9 or 10 out of 10, but now it is just too weak, too easy to crush. Too many kits are out that nullify what they can do. Their stats are way too low, despite some of their kits being pretty good, and as a result, it's one of those fun teams, and it's a relic of the past that no longer stands the test of time. However, is tons of fun to play, and so if you want to give it a spin, if you have better stars or even fully soul boosted Beerus, go for it. Have some fun, try it out, see what you think, see what you can do with it. And if you're in my Discord, post some pictures of what you did with it and what you're able to beat with it. That would be pretty cool to see. But without further ado, guys, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't hesitate to tickle the like button if you haven't already, subscribe, and click on the bell for more notificaciones so you never miss another one of my videos. Have yourselves a salty day, and I will see you in the next video.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a time, Phil G. Phil G.